What's up, y'all? It's your girl Kiara, and I am back with another video. And before I get into this video, check out the hair. Check out the hair. Check out the chunky twist. Check out the twist. Check out the twist. My aunt, she did my hair. It's cute or whatever. Like, I'm so bored. Like, I'm so lazy. I never know what to do with my hair, so I just get my aunt to do it. And then as y'all can see, I got the dramatic lashes on today. I didn't go nowhere special. I was contemplating going to a homecoming game, but I was like, nah, I'm good. But now I got that out of the way. As y'all know, it is October. I don't know if it'll still be October by the time y'all see this, but right now it's October. And one thing about October, scary movies. And one thing y'all know about me, I love scary movies. So we finna talk about Saw X, baby. Saw X, John Kramer. That's my man. I'm playing, y'all, but Saw and Scream are like up there when it comes to like my top favorite scary movie series, like sagas or whatever the case may be. Love Saw. I watch every Saw except for Saw 3D. Saw 3D, people was giving mixed reviews. They're like, no, I don't want to watch it. So we finna get into, before we get into it, spoiler, y'all already know what it is. It's a spoiler. And I think this might be the best. This might want to be my favorite movies to review, because one thing about it, I love me a good Saw movie. I love me a good bloody movie, even though like when I watch it, it make me like. Anyway, but make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share all that, cause I know y'all want to support your girl. And before we end, and like I always say, without further ado, let's get into this movie review. Alright, so when I watched the movie, I'm sitting here thinking John Kramer survived his damn brain surgery and he popped back up on, later. Because he, as you know, the guy who played John Kramer, he's old. You see what I'm saying? So one of my coworkers thought he was dead. I'm like, don't ever play by my man. Don't do that. But yeah, this movie apparently took place between Saw 1 and Saw 2. So it was around the time he got his cancer diagnosis. So he was very distraught. He was like, what can we do? And like, it was nothing he can do. And then he ended up going to this group counseling session about people who got terminal cancer and like want to cope with it type stuff. So he met this guy. Let me get these people's names real quick. Make sure I'm still recording. So he meets this guy Henry, played by Michael Beach. I've seen him on a lot of movies. I just can't tell you which ones. But he met him. He was like, hey, like I guess months down the line, he met the guy. John met the guy at a coffee shop. He was like, hey John, how you been? I'm in full remission. Even though he had stage 3 like pancreatic cancer or something like that, and it was like no surviving that stuff. So he showed this guy a scar where they did surgery and told him about this doctor who did this. It was chemo mixed with surgery that just wiped out the cancer. It was illegal. It wasn't approved in the USA because, as y'all know, the USA don't want people to get better. So the US medical system don't want people to get better. They gonna be out of a job. You see what I'm saying? But that's a little hot take. So Henry gives John the number to the place, and it goes to the owner's daughter or whatever the case may be. Long story short, this woman is a fake and a phony. She's taking people's money and not even performing surgery for real. They are just taking these people's money and just letting them die because they think they done got life-changing surgery and they finna live forever, only to die a few years later or a few months later thinking that something was right. You know what I'm saying? So John contacts her, and he has to go to Mexico. So the guy who picks up John in the taxi, he takes him to like this hidden spot in the middle of nowhere in Mexico. They had to kidnap John to make sure they didn't know that, like, he didn't remember the location of the place, all this jazz, right? So he finally meets the woman. She talks about the procedure, all that stuff, and then we meet a woman named Gabriella. Gabriella speaks like 10 words of English total, but her primary language is Spanish. And I was kind of impressed with myself when I was watching the movie. I'm like, I know a lot of what she's saying in Spanish because I've been doing Duolingo for like almost 2 years, but that's neither here nor there. So he gets prepared for the surgery. They put him under with some gas. He was looking at this screen of this. He thought that was his brain getting worked on. It was not. The doctor told the assistant to change turn the computer to where he's not looking at it, this and that. He wakes up from surgery thinking everything's all good. He even had a fake bandage wrapped around his head, talking about don't take it off. It's antibacterial. Like don't take it off or your scar get infected. Da da da. So they got John for like 250 grand, I think. Then he goes back the next morning to thank everybody for what they did for him. And everything's gone. Everything's trash. Everybody's gone. So John calls the people that he called to find these folks. And so one by one, he gets assistant Amanda. Y'all know Amanda from the first one. Like, she was one of the people that John saved. And now she's like his little assistant, his minion, or whatever the case may be. So he gets Amanda going around basically finding everybody who was in on the thing and brings them into his dungeon. It started with the taxi driver who led them to the place. Forgot his name. They put like knives in his, like explosives in his arm, like drilled them in both his arms. And the only thing he could have on the end was like scalpels. So they, he had to cut open his arms through the muscle, through the tissue to get the bombs out before he went off and blew his arms up. So he got it. And then John gave him a first aid kit and was like, fix yourself up type stuff. And so they start getting everybody one by one to do the challenges. So one was Valentina using this blade that literally can cut through skin like it's nothing, like bone, muscle, everything. So she had 3 minutes to cut off her leg and get the bone marrow out of her bone to get sucked into this machine, and it'll stop the thing from cutting her neck off. That was like the most disgusting one I watched. That one made me literally squirm in my seat. I was so over it. But that was the most nasty one, was Valentina cut a leg off. 2 was what's her name? Let me get you a name real quick. Mateo. He was, I think, one of the doctors, and he did surgery on John Kramer's head. And he had to do a challenge where he had to cut open his brain, like cut his skull open, get some brain matter, and put it in this solvent to where it dissolves and it'll stop the machine. And as you can guess, he did not make it in time. And he had like this little, it was this thing wrapped around his head. Like when it closed on you, it was like an oven, and it burns your face off, melts your skin until you die type stuff. So 2. Third one was Gabriella. Amanda could relate to Gabriella because Gabriella was hooked on illegal medicine, and she would do anything for money to get her fixed. And so I think John took it easiest on Gabriella because of her situation, and you know what I'm saying, she was doing stuff just to get the fix. She didn't, she was very easily influenced. So this thing was like, he had a chemo gun like pointed at her, and she had one wrist chained up here. Her ankle was chained at the bottom. The woman told her to break her foot first so she can swing out the way of the machine and then break her hand. But now that I'm thinking about it, I read a lot of reviews. I do agree with the reviews. She should have broke her hand first so she can land on her feet and run from the gun if she needed to. But she got really, 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 really bad radiation. Her face was boiling basically. And then when she fell, she John was gonna try to get her to the hospital, but in the midst of him doing all this, one of the other patients found the warehouse and was coming to save the doctor that did the woman who, Dr. Cecilia. He was coming to, quote unquote, get his revenge on her. He was really coming to save her because they were sneakily like sleeping around. So this guy was like, all right, I'm done playing these games. Like, stop doing all this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy led John and Amanda down to his warehouse where everybody was at. And he was like, uncuff her. Like, this is over with. Like, and so Dr. Cecilia, she was a mean ass bitch. So, you know, Gabriella, she was supposed to be rushed to the hospital because she won her challenge. Dr. Cecilia stepped on that girl's neck and broke that motherfucker. I was so pissed. I was so mad. But anyway, so Dr. Cecilia told John and this little boy that John met earlier in the movie, they made him and John get on this machine where it's kind of like waterboarding, but instead of water, it's pig's blood. So you could have the option to pull a lever to save the person on the other side for a little bit, give them some air, and then they have the same lever to pull so they can save you a little bit from getting waterboarded. So they just kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then they end up, Dr. Cecilia and her husband or man or whatever went up to the main office where everything was going on, and she was looking for that money that was stole because she had made a lot of money off those folks and she wanted her money. So she pulled the bag off, and then a timer went off because Kramer knew like this was a possibility of happening. And when I heard that music, I was so excited. I was like, yo, bitch, stop playing. You thought you was gonna get him. Stop playing. You know who the fuck he is. But anyway, this trap was a gas chamber to where you can only save yourself. It was like all this gas coming in the room, and there was one hole that you could stick your head out to get some fresh air so you won't die. So the girl, Dr. Cecilia, ends up killing her man, stabbing her man to get some fresh air, and then Dr. Kramer, Amanda, and the little boy walk out into the sunset and left her there. But then there was an end credit scene where we run into Henry again. Remember Henry? The one who gave John the phone number to talk to the doctor and all that. Remember? He had him locked in the bathroom from Saw 1. That bathroom with the two guys in it. Had him in there like this contraption stuck to his stomach. So, whenever it would go off, it would like dig to his belly type stuff. And then he had his other minion and was like, I don't know why you mess with John Kramer, but this is all on you, my man. All on you. And then that's when it cut to black. Long story short, I give it a 8.5 out of 10. One of the best scary movies I've seen so far this year. And since it is October, we got more and more coming. And I'm finna get right into another one. After this video, I'm finna get into another one that's the complete opposite. Very disappointed. I was very disappointed in this movie. But y'all gonna know what it is when y'all see it next week. So that's it for Saw X. If my review still make you want to go watch it, go watch it. You still got time. But if it don't make you want to watch it and you feel like you got the gist by listening to me talk, then alright then. But that's all I got for this video, y'all. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share all that, because I know y'all want to support your girl. And like I always say, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.